Oh, hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Hey, what's up, dudes?
Guys, it is, wait for it, Friday. We love Friday because, wait for it.
Because it's the, wait for it, weekend.
For one day.
Wait, hold on, what's that? Oh! It's time for Person of the Day.
Person of...
For one day.
Well, tonight there are a couple of thousand submissions for a new Minnesota state flag.
Okay.
Some are good, some classic, others are
Okay.
pretty simple.
Okay.
And some say the redesign is long overdue because the current imagery is offensive, illustrating a Native American being driven off the land.
Jennifer Hoff spoke with the group about.
And some have said the current flag is offensive because it's simply a black background with white text that says no Italians allowed.
Number one, it's just too busy. And second of all, it's dated and it's offensive to some communities.
Anita Talsman-Gall and 12 others will vote on the newest design, receiving more than 2,000
submissions made public today for the first time.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. Today's Person of the Day is Minnesota. So in Minnesota, they did a thing where like, oh, we got to change our flag because it looks like, I can't really tell what's going on in this flag. Okay, so whatever. Minnesota was like, oh, we got to change our flag. They opened the design up to the public and guaranteed the Minnesota Flag Commission or whatever the hell crap. They're going to pick the most boring design, obviously. But if this was open to voting from the public, if the public, and this
goddamn you to hell, Minnesota.
Flag Commission and government.
People of Minnesota, you hockey-playing sons of is you.
You need to fight this. It should be a pure democracy, a pure vote for this flag. Because I guarantee if they open this up to public voting, this flag right here would be the winner. Look at that. That is a real submission. If that was their flag, I feel like people would travel to Minnesota just to look at the... This is my favorite one right here. Some guy just took a picture of an... Some guy just took a picture of an American flag and sent it in. A lot of children, or maybe they're just...
adult baby.
Put submissions. This one here
Also, obviously should have won.
It's so bizarre to me.
What's bizarre, Joe?
Generally speaking,
No,
Chinese people
come on.
look Chinese.
Joe.
That a rejection of teaching like overt sexuality to young kids is somehow or another dismissed as anti-gay or anti-LGBTQ. It's so strange because you could never imagine.
It's dangerous. It's grooming behavior.
Okay, guys, great. On this channel, we look at this wacky conservative online media a lot, And I kind of been noticing a pattern with these guys. I'll show you what I mean with a couple different clips here. But first, let's take a look at this guy. I think his name is Joe.
Adult baby.
And guess who's paying for that thing to be seen on Cornell and in Harvard and in that's right, Russia and China.
Who?
They're being manipulated by a bunch of our enemies as they're trying to destabilize us in a region and here in the United States.
And it's a vulnerability that we have because of our freedom.
Because of our freedom.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Good point, Joe.
Man, I love freedom.
I love
Right.
it. I do. That's why I'm here.
Has its limits.
That's why I
though.
moved here.
Has its limits.
love-
Joe, hey, can I speak?
The way that
Has its limits, though. Right, guys? Some of these people, they got a little too far, right, guys? Huh? Answer me.
the way that freedom would work
Right.
was that there was an educated, empowered citizen that was
Right.
individually responsible for themselves and their family.
Right, which the people I disagree with, they are not that. So, no freedom for you. No freedom for you. Okay, these guys might be in a haze, a buzz, from Black Rifle Coffee mixing wrong with Alpha Brain or some shit. Who knows?
They might be buzzing on that black rife. Black rife.
I mean, in New York, you got thousands of people marching where? Like to Brooklyn or something? Marching today from the New York Times. Protests calling for Israel-Hamas ceasefire shut down Midtown Manhattan streets. No matter what the subject matter, it's going to be a bunch of different people who have different views, different levels of understanding, blah, 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 blah. And they just kind of say what most people think. which is like, we don't like seeing innocent civilians getting killed, no matter who they are. We got to stop this. What these guys seem to be saying, especially this guy, unless you take the Fox News position on this, the Fox News / Ben Shapiro position on this, it's just like, you're not able to handle the freedom. You're not able to handle the freedom that has been bequeathed to you. This is not how, this guy's basically like, this is not how freedom was supposed to work. These people aren't educated enough to do freedom. The freedom of assembly, they can't do it. They're doing it wrong. And not only that, but it's helping our enemies. They're doing this. They're helping our enemies. They're helping our enemies, which, if you hear that, they're helping enemies, there's no way that you would deduce from that, oh, maybe they shouldn't be free to do that. There's no way that you would connect that to that. Joe Rogan loves these kind of guys. Like, if you have like a hunting jacket and a black and like sort of a faded shirt that you got from an ad that has like a gun on it and a star of some kind, Joe Rogan will have you on his show. He's like, ooh. Okay, so we're definitely, without a doubt, implying here, like, these people can't handle his freedom. They need to be stopped. They need to, this speech needs to be stopped. We're going to go back a couple of minutes, maybe like an hour, because all these podcasts are 7 hours long.
Every dangerous freedom censoring group does it under this idea of they're doing it for the greater good.
Yeah. Oh,
it's like, whether it's
right, like protecting from the enemies. The enemies are going to get us, so you got to shut up. Right?
It's always through this veil of, no, it's for your benefit.
Right.
But like, you pull the veil back a little bit and it's just censorship.
It's just control.
Yeah,
right.
they're just trying to manipulate what information's available for people to try to base their opinion.
What people are allowed to say, right?
It's very unique and it's very strange. It's very strange to see massive protests on the streets that are yelling out in support of the people that did that on October 7th.
Like Fox.
The fact that there's people that are so fucking detached from reality.
Right.
And
these people who are detached from reality,
These sickos, they're detached from reality,
Not me, though. Now, I do get my view of reality mediated through a very specific media that has a very specific agenda and narrative. But these people, man, I mean, the narrative that Joe has accepted, just blindly accepted, really. Maybe he's accepting this narrative because this guy has one of those faded Black Rifle Coffee t-shirts. He's like, ooh, I gotta be friends with this guy. But the narrative that he's blindly accepted is like so easily disprovable, just like a few clicks. Like, I was looking through polls too, and like all these polls are like, people just don't like violence against civilians. Like, that's the whole, people have this weird thing where they just don't like seeing innocent people who are just trying to live their lives get hurt. But Joe has accepted this story that, like, oh, all those people who are marching, who tell the news when they're interviewed, we just want violence against civilians to stop. Joe has just accepted that story. Oh, no, they like, these people who are saying the exact opposite, they like seeing civilians get hurt, even though they're saying the exact opposite when we interview them and poll them. But also, I forgot this is Joe. Joe's had all kind of lunatics and bigots and whack jobs on his show, saying a bunch of vile, decrepit crap, and he's like, yeah, well, I'll show, whatever, 1.8 million children who listen to me, I'll show them this. But now there's people protesting. He can't be bothered to look into it at all. And he's like, freedom, I don't know anymore. I've been talking about this forever. Everybody's trying to censor my ass. This is the worst. Freedom of speech is so important, but now I don't know. Why not, Joe? Have you done a bunch of research on this? No, not really, but this guy, do you see the t-shirt's faded? Okay, this guy's kind of hilarious, though. Check this out. This is my favorite part of this. How long? 18-hour Joe interview. Check this out.
I have to elbow my son out of a seat so I can sit facing the door. I was like, my man, you knew where to sit, but like, move over. You go sit by your mom right now,
Okay.
And, he sees the outliers,
right.
And
it's weird.
Mike would call it a bump in the pattern. Like, I call them outliers, where like something is off, where I sit down in a place. I'm like, that person doesn't belong here.
Right. What's going on here?
Yeah, I'm going to spend a little bit of time and a little cognitive
I'm gonna guess
of my ever struggling brain to pay attention with what person is doing over here,
right?
Because it's my responsibility.
Yeah. Okay, so Joe, what I do, when I walk up into the Dave & Buster's, is I do what I call
I do what's called a perimeter check. Okay, I examine the perimeter, you know.
And sometimes, Joe, I see a guy, he's eating a pretzel dog. He's eating some garlic parmesan truffle fries. Maybe he's even having a loaded queso. Okay, that kind of guy goes in what we call the person of interest category for me, okay? It might be a single mother eating a double pepperoni flatbread with her kid, and I'm like, something's off there. And then, Joe, I hate to have to do this, but I do this. I call it a preemptive takedown on them. All this fucking shit that I do, Joe.
It's hilarious.
But yeah, this is a thing that's just completely all over conservative media. There are a few guys who are kind of sticking to sanity a little bit. Glenn Greenwald, But it does seem like the majority of these online conservative lunatics, and especially like the big ones, are like, maybe we shouldn't have freedom of speech anymore. The thing we've been talking about all the time? I don't know about it anymore.
In Florida, DeSantis has passed laws. We banned some of these protests because he's talking about material support.
And he makes us uncomfortable by banning speech.
However, it's material support, but yes, people are arguing that he's banning speech.
My point is that he's recognized the phase transition.
Right. So how do we encourage that while being respectful of the ideas and ideals that we care about? How do we make sure that we have the proper tools?
Right. You can't, Dave. Right. How do we ban speech, but at the same time respecting the freedom of speech? That is a question that only this guy would have. How do we do this? What the f***? It's hard to take Dave Rubin seriously, and I hope I don't have to take Dave Rubin seriously, but I kind of feel sorry for him because, the internet can make you famous, almost by accident, The algorithm picked up this idiot who just edits videos real fast, and then he slows down his voice,
and somehow that got the algorithm in.
I mean, Dave Rubin did really want to get famous, but it's just weirdos on the internet found him, and now he's just peddling to keep that income coming in,
I want to ban speech now, even though I've been talking about how important freedom of speech is forever. How do I square that? It can be squared, right? You go ahead, you say something.
If there are people in the UK who are offended by the posters of missing Jewish children, they must leave.
Okay.
Douglas, you're back for I don't know which time, but we've had you on many times.
Okay, this next and final video here, this is one of those things where I'm like, do I really have to talk about this? Should I really talk about this? And then I look, 1.1 million views in 4 days. They're getting their information. And then a guy who did a PragerU video where he said that they shouldn't take down statues of Confederate generals and slave owners because we need to learn, because that's how we learn about history. Also, I was reading some of the stuff that this guy has written, and whoa boy. This guy, Douglas Murray, I mean, he's a goofball and all that. He's like an internet goof, but I barely believe he's real. He seems like a character, like a bad guy character from a 90s kids movie or something. He would be one of the bad guys in Heavyweights. He's both an absolute snob and completely hateful.
Does anyone around this table, anyone watching,
yes,
honestly think that we have a generation that is well educated?
Touche.
Right.
I mean, find me the teacher or find me the professor at any university that in the last 50 years who would say to you, every year the undergraduates come up, the students come up, and they just know more and more each year.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Young people are dumb. We get it. I know my audience. They're elderly.
We want to take a moment to talk about our partners, GiveSendGo.
Sure.
GiveSendGo is a leading crowdfunding website.
We've met the people at GiveSendGo, and we can tell you that they're absolutely aligned with Trigonometry on our approach to free speech. Free speech.
So same thing. Free speech. Oh, everybody needs to be free to do their little speeches, That's how I think of free speech. I'm free to give a speech. Okay, this is my interpretation of free speech, and I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong on this. But anywhere I am, if I'm in the movies, for example, and I have like index cards with a whole speech, I can get up and I can stand in front of the film and give my speech. And if they try to arrest me, I'll say, this is against my First Amendment crap. But yeah, these guys go droning on and on about freedom of speech all the time, you know, even in their ads.
I am fed up, by the way, of the centrist dad hand-wringing era, where people say, oh, but might it be against our liberal values? And might our liberalism... I'm not as interested in that as I am in Britain remaining Britain. I am much more interested in that.
So these guys are totally committed to free speech, you know, for freedom of speech. They're totally committed to it. But this guy, Douglas Murray, says if there's anybody who's offended by a poster in the UK, we should kick them out.
If there are people in the UK who are offended by the posters of missing Jewish children, they must leave.
He literally says that. And not a lot of pushback from the free speech guys. That's weird. So I guess when they say freedom of speech, it's the freedom to do speech about that we shouldn't have freedom of speech. It's very meta. It's interesting. Well, guys, there we go. These people are truly losing their minds on the internet. Most people don't seem to agree with them, which is good, but they're losing it. They're going like this. But on the bright side, it is the weekend, and
I'm not here to play stupid games with morons.
That's how I feel about the weekend. Love you guys. Hope you have a fun weekend. Hope you keep it real.
Weird.
And then people look at you and they go,
that's really weird.
Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, guys.
Guess what? You're not even getting the whole show. If you want every episode and a whole bunch of other
subscribe on Patreon.
Subscribe on Patreon for as little as 2 bones. Just click the stupid little link below the video in the comments.
See, right there.
There you go. Click it and that, yep. When you become a patron for as little as 2 bones, you get the Tuesday, Thursday, patron-only episodes. You also get the weekly Book-a-Blega show where we talk about important books. The questions and comments thing where you can ask questions and make comments and all this crap.
All for less than the price of a rancid Charleston Chew.
And for only 25 putrid little dollars,
you could become a producer.
That's right, support the show and get your name up here. Look at these people. Look at these people that make the show possible, okay? God. I mean, without these beautiful people, this show goes straight into the dumpster. A rotten, you know, just wet, disgusting dumpster, you know, behind a restaurant. So there's old milk in there. That's where this show ends up without these people. Is that what you want? Okay, I guess it's what you want. I'll just leave. Nope, it's done. It's too late. Okay? Here we go. Here's the dump truck. Here's the dump truck come to pick up the show. This is what would happen with no producers. Thank you.